God, hurry up. Pass me the phone. Come on.
Hi, Carrie. This is Beyond Beauty. And it's Dominique Nicole. You already know DJ the rapper. Go ahead, Carrie. Go ahead, Carrie. Go ahead, Carrie. Tell it like it is, boy. Go ahead, Carrie. Go ahead, Carrie. Go ahead, Carrie. Tell it like it is, boy. Go ahead, Carrie. Go ahead, Carrie. Go ahead, Carrie. Tell it like it is, boy. Go ahead, Carrie. Go ahead, Carrie. Go ahead, Carrie. Tell it like it is, boy.
Tell it like it is through your radio. Fully syndicated, funny for the silly folks. Always keep it positive, never negative. Carrie's Corner is the name. Welcome to the show. Hot top celebrities bringing in the voice of the community. It ain't gonna stop. And when they start to play the beats, I'ma have to write you up a eulogy cause they're so hot. And I stay live and I stay woke when the man trying to keep me on demand. Yeah, D-Day, Beyond Beauty, and Dominique Nicole did it again. How Beyonce?
Carrie's Corner will show you just what you were made of. Carrie's Corner will have the music playing through ya. Carrie's Corner will have you sipping on some tea. Carrie's Corner, feeling like it is you and me. Carrie's Corner, syndicated radio.
Go ahead, Carrie. Go ahead, Carrie. Go ahead, Carrie. Tell it like it is, boy. Go ahead, Carrie. Go ahead, Carrie. Go ahead, Carrie. Tell it like it is, boy. Go ahead, Carrie. Go ahead, Carrie. Go ahead, Carrie. Tell it like it is, boy. Go ahead, Carrie. Go ahead, Carrie. Go ahead, Carrie. Tell it like it is, boy.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Kerry D. Singleton, the Kerry's Corner Radio Show. And we are celebrating our 9-year anniversary on the air with our Listener Appreciation Day today, here live in New York City. And we have a full house. Trey the BK Chef is in the building. He's going to be serving up vittles. And we got a cake. It's not as nice as the place I used to go to in Brooklyn. But shout out to Valencia up in East Harlem for putting together a half-decent cake. I don't know what it tastes like, but it looks okay. You know, I always feel like the cake is a very important segment of any birthday, anniversary, etc. The cake is always impotent. Not important, but impotent. So we're going to cut the cake a little later. 9 years on the air. Woo. In the entertainment business, like that's like having dog years. Like 9 years is like 18 years. I want to send a couple of shouts, welcoming everybody to the Kerry's Corner Radio Show's Listener Appreciation Day. Again, we're celebrating our 9th year anniversary on the air. Shout out to our listeners first and foremost for rocking out with us since April 1st, 2013. And thank you to our syndicated. We had 6,000 listeners on our very first show. 6,000 listeners. We were only on one network. So people were definitely tuned in on April 1st, 2013. Shout out to our syndicated networks for giving us a platform. They would be KOYO 107.1 FM in Oroville, California. WJWR in Chicago. Cecil, every time you're around, boy, I laugh. That's a good thing and a bad thing. It's a bad thing when I'm on the air, but my boy Cecil Wade is here, and he's always making me laugh. I never, ever have had a dull moment with this brother. Shout out to London Energy Radio in London, 95.3 Jams out in Houston, and of course the Hustle Fan Radio Network. Shout out to the Kerry's Corner Radio Show team. Brother Michael Catlow Cox been with us for 8 years. 8 long years. He's the director of photography. DJ Just in Time, who's not in the building, is our mixed show DJ. Paul Dorser is our show's producer. He handles all the tech stuff that I don't want to be bothered with. And he tolerates my BS. And he tells me when my clothing is too awkward or loud, whether I want to hear it or not. Andre Jones is our resident DJ. He makes sure that the music is spinning. DJ of the year is what he is.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Kevon Merrill, who's on a train on his way from New Orleans, so he won't be here today, which means we'll have a lot more food. He's the assistant producer of the show. And our newest team member, Junior, is our new YouTube content creator. All right. I want to send a big shout out to DJ Silk. He and I started the show back in 2013. And of course, to all of our amazing guests who have made this show a go-to place for interviews over the past 9 years. It's been a long ride. We've had, this show is going to be pretty dope because we have a lot of throwback interviews with people like Adina Howard. Who else do we have interviews with? Eddie Levert Sr., After 7, Melissa Morgan, Melba Moore. We have a lot of iconic interviews that you'll be able to hear. And we're going to have a lot of fun. First question for today for the team. Paul Dorsa decided that we should ask, what is your favorite Kerry's Corner moment or interview? And my mother's here, so...
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah, just keep it,
like
there's been a lot of moments that she's just only her second time in the studio ever in 9 years.
Oh, wow.
So she's probably missed out on all of the shenanigans. I've been counting on that. So we'll start with you, Mr. Cox. What was your favorite Kerry's Corner moment or interview? And my mother is in earshot.
Well, I would say after 8 years, the interview with Eddie Levert, that was the moment right after his son passed. That was iconic.
Well, he lost 2 sons at this.
Yeah, both of them passed. And for me personally was when Melissa Morgan sang Happy Birthday to me on the show, right on my birthday.
Yeah, right on your birthday.
That was classic for me.
She's definitely a friend of the show. Melissa been on the show. She brought candy. We had a great time.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, she's dope. Love her. She's just did her first feature film too recently. So shout out to Melissa Morgan. Andre, you've been on the show at this point, 2 years, I think, right?
Yeah, man, it's been 2 years.
Okay, so what is your favorite Kerry's Corner moment or interview?
Actually, my favorite moment, believe it or not, was my first time here when I was asked to fill in. Now, you didn't know how I played yet. And you're like, listen, normally I'll just have a whole bunch of mixes play. I'm like, okay, but I can actually DJ.
Right.
You said, you know what? Listen, 1975, 1999, go for it.
Right.
See what you got.
And you've been an awesome addition to the show, man. We definitely happy to have you aboard.
Yeah,
Paul, you've been with us for about 2 years, right?
Yeah, about.
So your story's a little different. You started off as an intern.
Yeah.
And then you became the producer of the show. So now you're like right next to me every week with all the crazy stuff that comes out of my mouth.
Yeah, nowhere I'd rather be.
Oh,
on Mondays from
such a liar.
5 to 7. No, I'm serious.
A man said Mondays.
Yeah.
No, for real. The show's been great. I would have to say, like, every single day we're here is always a fun time. But, like, I'd probably say my favorite part of the show has been when we went to the water park.
He stole my damn
my bad.
answer.
When we went to the fashion show.
No,
when we,
you didn't go to any fashion shows.
well,
The
I
water
did.
park.
I did a while ago. Remember, before the pandemic.
Oh, go ahead, the water park.
But yeah, the water park was a lot of fun. Appreciated that. We definitely needed that team bonding and whatnot.
Yeah.
And we all went on a couple of rides together.
Yeah,
So-
well, so those of us that were brave enough to go on the water rides, the big ones.
But yeah, shout out to you, Carrie, and the show. It's been fun. And I don't know what else
you,
to
brother.
say.
I was
but,
gonna
wait, also, I don't know if I actually made this Carrie's conversation. Did I just forget? I suggested it.
Yeah, you suggested it last week.
I
Yeah.
must have forgot.
Yeah, you always forgetting things. You're getting to be my age. I guess for me, favorite Kerry's Corner moment. Oh, I was gonna say the trip to the water park over in Jersey, but I don't want to piggyback on Paul. I don't know. I've been here the longest. I mean, interviewing High Five was pretty dope. That was really, really cool. Interviewing Melissa Morgan, Melba Moore, the Ladies of Sky. There's been really so many. If I had to pick one, I don't know that I could. The first show, I was a wreck. I was nervous, screaming at everybody. I don't know. I guess favorite Kerry's Corner moment is every moment that I get to spend with you guys, man.
Can I add one? The show when Aviance was in studio, it felt like that was like a party in here. Everyone was dancing, singing. I don't know. That was a fun show.
Yeah.
We need to get him back on the show soon.
They got a new single coming out, so we'll definitely have them back in the studio. So we had a lot of great moments, but I think that the parties at Aloft were awesome. I know that Mr. Cox has attended every single one of them. So every anniversary, we had parties at the Aloft Hotel up in Harlem, and we would just really, really have a great time. Maybe for our 10th anniversary, we will take the party out of the studio. But for now, we're going to have a great time. We have two great guests in the studio who I can't wait to interview. But right now, we got some throwback mixes that include some really, really, really great interviews with some great legendary artists. And we're going to get into those right here on Kerry's Corner, your new home for throwbacks and new jacks. As we celebrate the 9th anniversary of the Kerry's Corner radio show, let's kick back and check out some old school interviews that we did on the show. We'll start everything off with a couple of clips from our first anniversary party, and then we'll dive into some interviews with Adina Howard, After 7, legendary producer Easy Mo B, and of course, the man behind Janet Jackson's Rhythm Nation choreography for her world tour and all of the videos from the Rhythm Nation album, Mr. Anthony Thomas, right here on Kerry's Corner, your new home for throwbacks and new jack.
Mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic check.
Yellow.
Thank you, David. Yes. So yeah, Justin Times on the corner. What's going on, sir?
What's going on, family?
I got hot tamales in my mouth, so I think I'm ready.
You know what? I'm gonna leave that alone.
Yeah, if I had something else in my mouth, I'd be really ready. And we got the man DJ Shabu on the corner. What's going on, sir?
What's going on? What's going on?
So he's wearing a Celtics cap, so I guess he really wants to get
Listen,
be
I gotta
motivated.
I gotta rep where I'm from.
Yeah, I know. I said, is that a subliminal comment? Because you know what I'm gonna say.
It's Pump, the Boston Pump.
Okay, yeah. It's not where you're from. It's where you're at, brother.
Listen, I didn't go out there to go shop for a New York hat.
Hey, all I'm saying is this. People always talking about they want me to represent where I'm from.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do is, and this is word to me, I'm gonna go get a cap with a picture of my mother's uterus on it, and I'll wear that. Okay? Singletonia. Shout out to my mom, who I think is listening, so she's probably cringing right now, smoking her Newports or whatever it is that she's puffing on nowadays. Mom, they have electronic cigarettes, you know. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna get a picture of my mother's uterus because I'm tired of people saying, "Oh, you need to represent where you're from." I'm from the uterus. I'm from the Uterusville. They can't hear you. There's no mic in your mouth.
Oh, my bad. If you want to get technical,
Pause.
you can get the sack on your hat.
The sack?
That's technically where you came from.
Pause.
That's technically where you came from.
Yeah, but technically, as it may be, dude, there's no way. Rest in peace, Dad. I am not getting my father's pillows on my forehead. Okay? I love my father, but we ain't going out like that. Anyway, y'all can see what kind of party it's going to be. It's March 31st, 2014. It's a Monday. You rocking and rolling with me, the Mixmaster Just in Time, and the man DJ Shabu himself. We got so many guests that
So, you're such a nut. So, and you made me lose my train of thought giving me that beautiful compliment.
The 70s.
But just you lied. From the 70s. Thank
yes,
you.
Right.
You raised in the 70s, and our food tastes completely different.
Yes.
You know, back in the day, all we had to do was throw some salt, pepper, garlic, and voila, you know,
right.
The flavor was amazing. But because of the food, the way that it is raised today, the way they manufacture it, the chickens, the cows, you know, the dairy, all the hormones and pesticides and insecticides and all of the things that they're putting in our foods, we're consuming that. And we have to be very careful because input equals output.
Right.
Input equals if we're not mindful of what we're putting in our bodies, if you're willing to spend hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars on shoes and hair and nails
and breasts,
you know, clothes, cars, then you should invest that much into your being because
right.
At the end of the day, if you're crappy on the inside, it doesn't matter what you look like on the outside. You're going to still, you know, you're going to look worthless.
Right. And you're going to feel worthless.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
So we have to be mindful of that. And one of the things that I like to tell people, too, is because a lot of us really don't know, olive oil is to not be used as a frying oil. That drives me up the wall. And it's also very unhealthy for our systems because when you heat olive oil past its smoke point, which is it's not supposed to be heated at all, you create a carcinogen, so it becomes cancerous. and technically you're supposed to throw it out.
So you know what? It's interesting that you're here. You're talking about this because Dee Moshel from Dee Moshel Fashions magazine, she actually designs clothes for breast cancer survivors, and she was just on the air in our first hour, and she's sitting over there like getting educated about what you're saying. I think it'll be easy for me to remember because I remember like growing up, the cartoons like Olive Oil was extremely unattractive. So if I could just remember that. Yes. So if I can remember, I don't understand. I never understood what Popeye saw it like. She had no butt, no nothing. So if you can remember that olive oil is unattractive, then you can remember that it's unattractive for your body. I need to.
Well, it's not like, only when it's heated.
Okay.
It's only supposed to be made like it's supposed to be used as a salad oil.
Okay.
It's only supposed to be used cool.
Okay.
Or room temperature. But if it's heated up, that's when it's absolutely no good. And the same with coconut oil. If you're gonna use any oils to fry with, canola, grapeseed, and avocado, just to give them alternatives. Because a lot of times people are like, well, you told me what not to use, but what should I use? So there you go.
Okay, so I just got a text message. I don't usually do stuff like this, Adina, because I have other questions to ask you that are way more important than people's crushes. And I'm sure you're tired of it, and you're married, and you need to be, But Chris Michael is one of my best friends in the world. He's a singer, and he's wanted me to, he texted all the way from Baltimore, OMG, please tell her that Chris Michael said she was my childhood crush after I saw that video of my up and my down, and that her vocals on Baby Come Over and You Don't Have to Cry were amazing, and she absolutely killed it.
Aww.
Okay. Well, in the spirit of doing whatever it takes to get it right, sometimes we have to tweak and retweak things. A song that was once titled In and Out is now titled Running Out.
Okay.
Yeah. And we wanted, I'll speak about that. We wanted to take a different approach to the song. We wanted to figure out how to really kind of put this signature stamp of After 7, that sound and that approach that people are accustomed to hearing with After 7.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how we went back into the studio, and we kind of reconfigured some things.
Got you.
To make it make more sense.
Okay.
To our listeners, to our fans. I think it's something that when they hear it, they're gonna know. Oh, After 7. That's my After 7. That's what they do, because that's how we do it, and that's what we wanted to make sure. We didn't, there are some acts. I won't name any names, but there are some acts that come from our era right now.
Oh, okay.
And it's a difficult. It's a challenge, what I will say.
Mm-hmm.
It is a challenge to try to figure out how you fit in today's music.
Yeah, I know.
And be relevant.
Right.
Without sometimes falling prey to jumping into the pan.
Exactly.
That everybody is in,
Exactly.
And we've taken a position to just be true to who we are, who we've always been.
Hand clap to that.
And so I'm not trying to. We are not trying to reinvent who we are.
Mm-hmm.
We are not trying to do some refurbishing with regards to utilizing some of the same melodies or some of the same lyrics that we had in prior songs, which seems to be something that people do. We're not doing any of that.
That's cheating.
None of that stuff. I mean, it is, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
It's like let's get original if we can be.
Right.
Let's be creative, and figure it out from a different angle. So we're not regurgitating. You're not going to hear any of taking my time in any of these songs that we're doing.
Not that there would be a problem with that now.
Yeah, I know. I know you wouldn't have wouldn't have a problem with it, but
I know. Right.
we're just saying, we want to do something fresh and new, but still be who we are.
You laid the foundation for the first two artists of Bad Boy. I'm going to ask you, what was it like, though, working with Craig and Biggie in the studio on those early projects?
Together, they ended up on the Flavor in Your Ear remix.
Correct, the remix, yeah.
But separately, they both was built differently.
Mm-hmm.
Biggie, of course, a bit more grimier. He wanted his stuff to have more of a grimier texture.
Okay.
Craig Mack was all about fun.
Fun, right.
And he's injecting a sense of humor and
Right.
and all of that. So it was fun to work with him.
What was the most memorable, considering that today is March 9th, such a unforgettable day in hip hop history, and my listeners, of course, would like to know what just was it like to be around the Notorious B.I.G. Because to the rest of us, he's an icon. To you, brother, he was a person that you worked with. Like, what was it like to be on the road with him, to be around him, to be in his essence, to be in his circle? What was that like?
What people don't know is that Biggie was a jokester, man. He had a crazy sense of humor, and he would do things to make you laugh. You never would expect to get this from this laid back dude, from the image. You know, you would think that you have to be scared to approach him. But I can remember when, because I recorded for Pac, and this was during the time when they was both friends.
Correct.
And I have a record to prove that. The Running
exactly
song.
that you produced,
not the Eminem remix. There's an Easy Mo B original.
The original version, correct.
On the 1 Million Strong album. And I had gave Pac some beats for Me Against the World. A bunch of different beats we recorded. I don't know how it leaked back to Biggie, so I don't know. I bumped into him up at the label somewhere. I remember we was inside a building, probably up at the label. So he came up next side of me. He was like, "Yo, Mo, man, you know you were supposed to give me them joints, right?" I said, "Yo, what you talking about?" "Them joints you gave Pac, man. You know you were supposed to give me." We just start laughing. You know, I was like, I said, "Yo, come on, man. I know you ain't jealous." He said, "Come on, man. You was supposed to, them joints is fire. You was supposed to give me that." So it just showed the realness in him. you know?
Right.
And I'm glad that I can bring that up, because that proves that was during the time when they really was friends.
Correct.
When he said that at that time, they were cool. When we recorded Running, we were all in the same Studio C in Unique Recording. Over there on 47th Street.
Exactly. Yep.
Everything was fine, and they was friends. Whatever happened and whatever tumulted, that was that. But
We had a great time, and my mother loved the fact that you did the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 with me, man. She loved it. She loved it. She loved it. Thank you so much. That's something that will be replayed forever and a day, I'm sure. So
that's fantastic.
But real quick, so this is what I want to ask you first and foremost. So this is a question I didn't get to ask you when we were having breakfast. When you first heard this, the track for Rhythm Nation, when it was first handed to you, what did you feel when the first time that you heard that song?
Well, I was actually at Flight Time Studios, and
with Jam and Lewis.
With Jam and Lewis,
wow.
And we walked into the studio, and one of the songs that was actually being mixed was The Knowledge.
Okay.
And and so they were playing it back, and it was that real irritating part of the song, the real, that part, and where the keyboard was really strong, and, and I heard them, what's that? So Renee Elizondo had said, he said, "Jimmy, why don't you play Rhythm Nation for Anthony?" So he goes, "Okay." So they pulled up the track and sat me back in the right side corner pocket of the studio. And when that beat dropped and that sound came in, and Janet started singing, it was pure power. I mean, I hadn't ever experienced or heard anything like that before.
Right.
And I was sitting there, and literally, I was holding back the tears, because I'm thinking to myself, am I going to be a part of this?
Wow.
And it was absolutely overwhelming and emotionally, I was just overcome emotionally. It was just a powerful, very, very strong moment. Surreal.
It was a very innovative song. I mean, you listen, even today, I mean, there haven't been
it has a sound of all of its own. I mean, even on the Rhythm Nation album, it stands out musically. It's definitely a standalone single. So what was it like working with Janet Jackson for the video and the tour for Rhythm Nation?
Well, she's a lot of fun to work with, and I tell this to people, in rehearsals, you don't really see the finished version of Janet Jackson.
Okay.
When she's rehearsing. You see, she's very studied, very focused, very disciplined, but she probably only goes like 40%. Wow. And then when it comes to filming or stage, she's full blast, and you go, oh my gosh. But it was really intense. We had a lot of fun times, sporadically, and we just really clicked. Our chemistry worked really well.
And we're back on the Kerry's Corner Radio Show. All those great interviews, man. Shout out to Anthony Thomas. Wow, that was obviously a great one for me to talk to the person who choreographed Janet Jackson's Rhythm Nation tour, Rhythm Nation video, and all the videos from the Rhythm Nation era. I actually went out to California to meet him and to have lunch with him, or breakfast rather, and we did the whole 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 segment. It was crazy because I've always known it, but when it was time to do it in front of the man who created it, I screwed it up like 5 times, like five or 6 times. Finally, we got it right, and it was a pretty dope experience. All right, I'm trying to find my notes, but I can't seem to find them. So Hezakaya is in the building. This brother came all the way from Baltimore, Maryland. Baltimore, B-A-W-D-M-O-R-E, Baltimore. Because the thing is, I've become a really big fan, as most of you know, of YouTube channels, because the news sucks, CNN sucks, all the things that I used to like to watch, I'm bored with, like, you know what I mean? So YouTube channels. A couple of weeks ago we had the brother Michaels came on the show, and Chris Michaels. You guys have forgotten his name already? So bad. Jesus Christ. Anyway, he's my favorite YouTuber, so it's sad that I can't remember his name. But anyway, he came on the show. We talked about his channel. Hezakaya's channel is a little different. So whereas Calvin Michaels, that's his name, Calvin Michaels does a lot of news and what's hot and what's interesting and blah, 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 blah. Hezakaya's channel is phenomenal in that if you're a historian, if you're a fan of history, if you want to know what happened back in the day, blah, 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 his channel is the channel to go to. He has this interesting collection of footage that I don't think you can get anywhere else. And I think that is dope. So welcome to the show, brother. How are you?
How are you?
You're too far from the microphone.
Thank you for having me here. Thank you for the microphone close up. I appreciate you guys for having me here.
Thank you.
So how are you?
I'm good.
Shout out to New York and Brooklyn.
And all of our other cities. Because we're
That's all. Baltimore, definitely.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. So welcome to the show. First of all, what's the name of your channel?
Hezakaya News and Films. Okay. Hezakaya and Films. Of course, you guys already know that. If you follow me, if you see the yellow sign on the footage, the classical footage, you see Hezakaya News. Yellow, Hezakaya-NEWZ.
So what inspired you to start such an innovative channel, boss?
Being a historian, a history buff, watching the JFK movie, Oliver Stone, those type of dudes, those type of directors, looking through Ken Burns, of course, when he did the whole Civil War, which was like 13 parts, 13 years since he completed it. Ken Burns is very long type of documentary. So they kind of inspired me. But then when I started to find all these old classic clips, I wanted to get past the copyright and throw my own samples, because I'm also a sampler dude. I like to sample old type music, and just put it into so that way I can effectively transport you back to that time. If it's 1973, I'm gonna have a James Brown track in 1973 to effectively transport you back to that time. So there you go.
Okay, so you have a lot of information. You have a lot of content on your channel that, and I'm not gonna ask you where you get it from. You gotta come close to the mic.
What?
You gotta come close to the mic, brother.
Okay.
I'm not going to ask you where you get your content because I'm sure that's not something that you want to give out. But, and I won't ask because I'm not interested, to be frank.
It's okay.
But the thing is that you've covered so many different topics, from the move bombing in Philadelphia to the busing incident in Boston.
Right.
And I mean, you just all kinds of historical events. Now, for those that are listening live here in New York City, it is Monday, April 4th. If you're listening live here in New York City, where it's got syndicated networks. So if you're listening live, today is also the anniversary of Dr. Martin Luther King's assassination. And of course, you have footage, from that era as well. I want to ask you a question. Of all of the footage that you have, Hezakaya, what, if you had to pick one, what is the most prized piece of archival, help, Mom.
That is a great question. All right, the most piece of archival that I think that I actually like, this have to be the Harlem and sorry about that. The guy, his name is a Harlem moonwalking thing.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
And that's the guy. That's the guy. Definitely, that's who I want to be. So.
Now I'm trying to tell you to put your mouth in front of the microphone.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, you keep
about
drifting
that.
away from the microphone. It won't hurt you. It's just the microphone.
All right. Yeah, because I have so many like videos that I can't. Now, Red Fox. All right, that's what I wanted to say. Red Fox. He was the man on the moon. Okay. Now that was the Harlem joint. It was 1969. So I think that's what it is, because I like the actual sample that I use.
Okay.
But I have so many actual videos and songs that I can't even actually tell you which one I like.
Okay.
But I actually like the ones that have the 70s songs that I put into them.
Okay.
And also my hip hop joints with my Primo, because shout out to Primo, but I use a lot of his joints on my beats and
Beats
stuff.
as well. Okay.
You know what I mean?
So you do so there's a couple of people here in the studio today that are from the Bronx.
Right. Okay.
And you have some great footage and I think this is priceless.
Okay.
He has a lot of you got to speak right into the microphone, brother.
Okay, no doubt. I got you.
You got a lot of great footage of the Bronx, the South Bronx, back in the 70s.
Got you.
And we have Cecil and we have Dr. Day in the studio. Cecil, I don't know how old you are, but I don't even know if you remember if when the Bronx was burnt up. And from the footage that you provided, I learned a couple of things about the Bronx in the 70s. Number one, the burnings were not chiefly done by the residents. It wasn't just random people burning down their houses, like a lot of people seem to have thought, including myself. Right? A lot of times it was for insurance purposes. Not only did landlords themselves do it, but they paid people in the neighborhood to do it. So it was a very political situation. The mayor knew what was going on. It was a very intricate situation, and I learned that about the South Bronx fires from watching your channel.
Right.
And I think that's dope. So I think it, like I said, you got two people here from the Bronx, and I'm from Boston.
Okay.
So you have some really great footage about the Boston busing era, and I wasn't. I mean, I may have been alive, but I was way too young. I didn't. I wasn't in school when that stuff was happening in South Boston High School and Charlestown High School. But the footage, did you have footage of what was really going on back then? And I was able to see my own community in turmoil, and it was really dope. Like footage that you got on that channel, man, is classic. You cover so many different things.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What are some things that you want to cover on your channel that you haven't already?
What I want to cover is sort of like new type of news, you know what I mean? Like things that are going on right now, which I used to cover that a couple of years ago, Hezakaya News, is because I used to, if anybody follow my channel, I used to do the news and put the little clips involved, but at the same time, it's like, I wanted to focus on like old history, because now, if I do the new stuff, it's depressing now. You guys get enough of that.
Right,
you know what I
right,
mean?
right,
So you
right.
guys can go to MSNBC or CNN. So you come to my channel to go back and see, all right, so CNN is talking about this. Let's see what happened. How did this get to this point? Let's go to Hezakaya News channel and see how it got to this point. So we're going to go ahead and go back in time.
Yeah, and that's what I really respect about the channel. Like, I've sit there, you have so much content, and like I've gotten addicted to it, but I sit there and watch one of your channels, and I watch another. I often tend to gravitate towards topics I'm already familiar with. The move bombing, the busing, the South Bronx, Chicago public housing. You got great footage on Chicago's public housing. But then I found myself, leaning towards topics that I knew nothing about, and I found that to be completely interesting. What have you learned from your own channel?
What I learned from my own channel definitely is that nothing doesn't change. I was thinking, like, when I was exploring this, like, well, things are getting better, blah, blah, blah. But then I'm looking like, oh my God, because the comments that I receive on these videos are people that I even get comments from people that were in the videos themselves.
Wow.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is that really nothing is really changing. The people change, our gear change, our clothes change, our slang change.
Right.
But who we are and how we think and the mental does not change.
Right.
And that's what I see. It's just the clothes are different. Now I see those things. There's those old videos. The guys have the perm, the old conch in their hair, or the guys have the 5 heartbeats clothes on, or doing this, whatever. But nothing changes because we look and everything's still talking the same stuff. Look at my videos; they still talk the same stuff.
Right.
Hey, brother, we gotta stop this. We gotta stop the police brutality coming around here in our neighborhoods. It's just.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Yeah,
no
I
doubt.
mean, it tends to be like a circle. I understand what you're saying. Let people know how they can reach out to you and find your channel.
You guys can reach out to me at Hezakaya, HEZAKYANEWZ at gmail.com. Hezakaya News at gmail.com. Hezakaya News Cash App or PayPal, or Hezakaya Madison at gmail.com. I appreciate you guys, man. One love.
Thank you, brother.
Definitely.
Thank you very much. All right, so listen. My mom's in the studio. Shout out to my mom, Denise Singleton. And I want to another Kerry's Corner moment that I forgot to mention. Definitely when and Mr. Cox was there. He's not in the studio right now. The moment that we got our banners on Jamaica Avenue in Queens, that was epic for us. The moment that the Jamaica Business Improvement District in Jamaica, Queens, gave us 2 banners on Jamaica Avenue. That was that was really cool. The moment that I got hoisted up in the air and had to hold up the banner above Jamaica Avenue. That was a really dope moment. Shout out to Queens for loving the show. So we have Trey, the BK chef.
Hey, what's up, family? What's up, Care?
What's up, boss?
Same old.
You brought us some food today.
Yeah, I bought some of my new prepackaged meals that I'm doing for people that's on diets and
Okay. What are you trying to say, brother?
Just kind of lazy and don't want to come out to the restaurant. You in good shape, baby.
I lost 20 pounds.
I could tell.
This suit's making me look a little Michelin manish, but I'm surviving. So what did you prepare for us this time, brother? And thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. Happy 9th anniversary, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Peace to you, man.
Yes,
for real.
thank
That's
you.
a big deal.
Yes.
The proteins I brought were salmon, grilled chicken, and rosemary pork loin.
Okay.
And I also have a nice butter sage broccoli.
Okay.
Some rice and green peas.
Wow.
And I feel like I'm forgetting something, but you can always taste it in a few.
Nice. And I want to shout you out for a really, really big reason. Real big
What's
reason.
that? Because I come and feature?
No, that you do not pronounce the L in salmon. I hate that. Salmon.
You know, I never thought I never noticed that.
The minute, listen. The minute a person pronounces the L in salmon, the conversation's over.
Oh, it's a wrap.
It's just like the person that says conversate. Like as soon as you say conversate or artists to me, like my ears go.
It's closed,
yeah,
right?
Just like and although I'm looking at you, in my mind the word idiot just flashed across your forehead. So you do catering.
Yeah. I do catering from New York to ATL.
Okay. So if a person wanted a real exotic dish, I don't know, like fried monkey brains, would you prepare that for them? I'm asking.
It's hard to find monkey brains, but I can do anything.
Canal Street.
Culinary.
I'm sure on Canal.
Anything culinary I can do. It depends.
Bet you can find it on Canal Street.
On what your
Avenue, right?
Your palate wants and how many people in the groups. Couple of factors. But
I need you to do me a favor, brother.
What's that?
A couple of weeks ago, we went around the room and we asked everybody what was the most exotic thing that they've ever eaten, and 2 of my team members said shark, and I was pissed.
Oh wow!
Pissed. I've had shark before, but I was too young to know what I was doing. So do me a favor. If anybody requests shark, you tell them that I said no.
Okay.
That's a no. No shark, no dog,
no cat.
No. I mean,
depends what country you're in, brother. In Thailand, cats and dogs is delicacy.
The thing is, I don't like cats, so I don't care whether you cook one or not. I mean, I wouldn't kick one, but if it's if you're on Canal Street and somebody wants that, if you're not in New York City, you wouldn't get the joke. But whatever.
Yeah.
No sharks, no dogs, because I love those, and no dolphins.
No dolphins.
Yeah, no dolphins. No shark fin soup. What's your favorite thing to prepare? I have to ask you that before I let you go.
Mostly seafood. You know, like I get a lot of people
except shark.
They want seafood boil.
Okay.
Like they do down in the DC area.
Okay.
And Baltimore style crab cakes.
Okay. Yes. I love salmon
and
cakes.
jambalaya.
How come I can't find salmon cakes anywhere? Is it because I live in Staten Island?
That may be it.
Because if I go to Harlem or Brooklyn, I can find salmon cakes. But in Staten Island, it's just crab cakes.
That's it?
Yeah, if that.
Well, you might have to move, brother.
Well, there's a lot more reasons for me needing to move than just crab cakes. Believe me. Let everybody know how they can contact you if they want to hire you for your culinary services.
Well, they can go on my Instagram page. That's Trey the BK Chef. TRETHEBKCHEF.
Okay.
You can see my contact information, my company, and you can also see all the culinary delights that I make.
Okay. I remember my mother once saying, I don't remember the quote, but we went to a pizza shop in Boston and she was pretty pissed at the service. She said, you shouldn't open. I don't remember exactly what she said, but it was something to the effect of, you shouldn't have a restaurant if you can't cook. Do you remember that, Mom? Something to that effect.
That's facts right there.
Yeah.
Really. I see a lot of people have restaurants that don't know how to cook. So.
And not for nothing, I've said this before. If anybody's in the room and they get offended, they shouldn't be on this show. But I just came back from Puerto Rico. And I've said it to everybody in this room once before. The people in Puerto Rico were very nice. I love the weather. I got I thought it was a tan. It's actually, my mother said it was a sunburn. And now I'm peeling like a lizard. But Puerto Rico, season up your food. Didn't I say this to you on the phone, Cecil? Cecil hit me up on my birthday.
Yeah.
Like, if you go to Puerto Rico, if you're like me and you have a palate that requires taste and stuff, bring a bottle of hot sauce. Because I love the people. The country was nice.
Yeah.
But my God, like, I shouldn't have to put salt.
Where were you at?
In San Juan.
Oh, wow. That's commercial.
And I wait a minute, check this out. I was in the tourist area, Bland. I went to the hood, because you get the best food in the world is in the hood. So I went to the hood, Bland, with flies. And 3, near where I was staying at, that was going to be my last spot before I went kayaking. Not as Bland, but when she came over, Senor, how was the food? I was just like, lady, don't ask.
Yeah.
So yeah, Puerto Rico, step your game up. Use more sazon or whatever it is. Right now we're getting
some adobo.
They need a lot of adobo. Yeah. They need some Old Bay seasoning. That's what they need. Shout out to Puerto Rico. Yeah. But anyway, And thank you for the tan that's peeling. Right now, we're going to get into our second mix. A couple of throwback mixes that I really enjoyed right here on Kerry's Corner, your new home for throwbacks and new jacks. Let's go. Here on the Kerry's Corner radio show, we've enjoyed 9 years of truly incredible interviews and guests. But the throwback interviews seem to be my favorites. Let's get into some more nostalgia with Ex-Girlfriend, Total, and of course, the late but great legendary producer, Kashif. Right here on Kerry's Corner, your new home for throwbacks and new jack.
Talk to me about what it was like to record that first album, please.
Wow.
You heard I let them go.
No, you also, Julia.
You want to start?
No, you start.
Okay.
I'm not
First
gonna make
things
it.
first. I'd have to say it was an unforgettable experience. Working with Full Force. Working with Full Force, they are amazing producers with so much talent, and they taught us a lot. You know, they really want to get into their artists, you know, just to kind of see, you know, the type of sound, what you want to sound like. They like bring the best out of you. So I could say that it was just an unforgettable experience. I'll take it everywhere I go. I mean, I use it now with me because I'm a musical director at my church. So
I've heard.
I use a lot of what I was taught, you know, with even writing and, you know, vocal arrangements. Paul is, oh my God, amazing guy on the vocal tip. He's just, but anyway, like I said, it was just an unforgettable experience. We were like family. And that was the other thing. We had the closeness, I mean, the fun. We had they're like family, you know, so I'll never forget that. It was a great experience, and with the girls as well.
Now, you two have known each other
For
childhood friends.
Yes.
petite.
Oh, please, come on.
I did my homework.
Oh, my
I've
God.
seen all the videos and repeatedly. I'm a fan.
No,
Sorry.
we went past petite. We used to jump professional double dutch together. So we
Yeah.
worked with Malcolm McLaren, Shalimar,
Wow.
Boy
Shalimar,
George.
okay.
Boy George, we were on tour with Boy George and Shalimar. But we were jumping
Jumping
double dutch.
rope at the time.
And actually, it was Malcolm McLaren who heard Tisha singing when we were in London, and he was like, "That girl can sing."
And she can.
Yes.
And you know what's going to happen now?
What?
You shouldn't deny anybody on their birthday, right?
Wow.
Shouldn't do that. So you know that as your biggest fan, or one
Right.
of your biggest fans, there is no way I'm going to let you leave this studio without just singing the "Why Can't You Come Home" chorus a cappella.
Oh, Lord. Okay, he doesn't know this. All right. I don't sing anymore. I've had 2 surgeries. I have nodules.
Then hum. Somebody sing something. Somebody do something, please.
Julia, go ahead and start it off.
You treat me like a limousine, and you drive me out of my mind, yeah. Why you want to do that to me, baby? You tell my friends you cause a scene, and you run all the time, yeah.
But what am I supposed to say or supposed to do? When I love someone, I've got to be loving you. Oh, you stay out every night, and that just ain't right. You must take me for a fool. Oh, yeah, too long, baby. I just may not hang on if you love me like I love you.
Why can't you come home? Why can't you come home? Home to my love. Why can't you come home? Why can't you come home? Home to my love. Why can't you come home? Yo, check this out. I stayed up from night to day, hoping that you would get home, yeah.
Carrie's Corner, lady.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thank you for being a part of the show. Yes. the
Hey,
party
Kima
is
Lima.
on.
Hey, Pammy Scrammy.
What's up, Kima? That is so cute. Pammy
Pammy Scrammy, that's what she called me.
We always have nicknames for each other.
Yes.
Pamela Scramita or Pammy Scrammy
That's
or
it.
I don't know.
That's it. And
Just
Kima
always
Lima.
just have nicknames.
Kima Lima or Little Mama. That's it.
And I have I have a nickname for all of you.
Yes.
The icons.
Okay, what is that?
The icons of R&B soul.
Okay.
Yes.
I
Hip-hop
like that.
soul, yes.
I didn't hear you say that again.
The icons of hip hop, R&B, and soul. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So, Kima, welcome to Carrie's Corner. We have
Thanks for having me.
DJ Justin Time and DJ Shabu, who came all the way from Massachusetts to join the Total Artist Spotlight.
Yes, they did, Kima. They came down.
Thank you for thanks for traveling.
Hey, little mama.
Mm-hmm, that's it.
All right, little mama. Little mama better watch out.
Hey, Kima. Hey, Kima. Check it out how Carrie used to work with us at Arista, Kima.
Carrie, Arista. Okay, I probably remember the face. I
Mhm.
never forget a face.
I don't think you would. It's a little
Kima real good with
thicker
faces,
now.
though.
The faces. That was a lot of hot tamales ago, though.
So that was
Yeah.
a lot hot tamales
Yes.
ago.
But I was telling Pam Kima how I was a street promoter for Arista, so I was responsible for Massachusetts, Hartford, Southern New England, Rhode Island, Connecticut, and my job was basically get all the records from Arista, the Bad Boy records, the LaFace records, the Rowdy records.
Goodness,
yeah.
Round Kima. Do you remember
old.
what Rowdy records
I'm old.
Proved it though, right?
But,
Like,
But yeah, so I mean, I got to meet you guys one day. I was in the office. I was telling Pam that I came into the office. I was actually chit chatting with the secretary, with Glennis. Remember Glennis, right?
Glennis, yes,
Right,
Glennis.
yes.
I still talk to Glennis to this day.
Give her my
I
love,
Glennis.
because I missed that. But so I saw you guys in the lobby, and I was telling Pam that the one thing that I walked away from and I never forgot 20 years ago was how humble you guys were and how you treated me like a human being, because I didn't announce that I was working with Arista. I just extended my hand, and you guys made me feel so loved, and I never forgot that. I just want to thank you guys for that 20 years ago experience.
Oh yeah, like I mean, for me, like a lot of people say that because a lot of people be like, "Oh, you're so laid back, you're so humble." I don't put myself on nobody's pedestal because I feel like what God gives it, God can take it away.
That's right.
And I have not accomplished anything, and when I say I mean I don't mean I and just team. I mean I, like as in total we have not accomplished anything that anybody cannot do. You know, so I don't.
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
I think my favorite is because of how it was produced. Inside Love for George Benson.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
You did Inside Love. I have to admit, because I know, because she was like, "Didn't this man do his homework?" But I mean, you have so much stuff. I didn't, get to see every single. But that is actually my favorite George Benson song of all time.
Inside Love.
That is
and I'll tell you a story.
Please
I'll
do.
tell you a great story. I might have to charge you for this story, man. The story's so good.
Well, yeah, charge me. Put it on my credit card. It's a Visa.
Okay. So I'm in the studio in New York City, and I'm probably producing 3 or 4 albums at one time. Maybe a Kenny G album, a Dionne Warwick, myself, and somebody else. And I get this call from Arif Mardin. You know, and Arif Mardin is a producer of the likes of Quincy Jones. He's just world class. And he says, "Hey, Kashif, we love your music. I would love for you to come and produce a song for George Benson for me." And I'm like, "George Benson?
Right.
What? You got to be kidding. I loved you. He was my idol. George Benson was my idol."
I can understand that entirely.
There's only one problem. Yeah, I said, "There's only one problem." He said, "What?" I said, "I'm in the studio finishing up about 4 albums, and I need a couple of months to put the finishing touches on these, and then I'm available.
Mhm.
Then no problem. We'll wait for you. However long we gotta wait, we'll wait.
Wow.
I'm like, oh man, that's fantastic. So we decided we're gonna wait 2 months while I finish these other albums. And every week, Arif Mardin would call me and he would say, "Hey, how's that song coming for George Benson?" I'm like, man, you won't believe how this groove is. I love it, man. I'm having so much fun. And every week he would call me and I'd give him an update. And then, 2 months passed by and the date arrives that we've agreed that we would meet at Atlantic Studios on 60th Street and Broadway.
Broadway, yep. I remember, yep. Mm-hmm.
Atlantic Studios. So, that day comes, I'm finished the other albums. My Carter's company comes and scoops up all my gear, my synthesizers, my drum machines, all my technology. They take it to the studio. It's set up. I arrive about an hour early. Lights are blinking and buzzing and humming, and everything is ready to go. And I'm sitting there, and I'm going like, holy crap, I'm going to be working with George Benson.
Wow.
Just a few minutes. And the only problem was I hadn't written a note.
Wow.
Not a pause, not a bar,
not a syllable,
not a bass clef, not a treble clef, not a syllable.
Wow.
And so finally George walks in the studio and says, "Hey, young man, how you doing?" "I'm good, George, man. It's very nice to meet you, sir. I've been loving your music for a long time." "Well, young man, you the hottest thing out there right now. Oh, man, I'm just excited to work with you."
Mm-hmm.
And so we sat there and we talked for about an hour. And finally George said, "Let me hear what you got." I said, "You want to hear what I got?"
Oh, boy.
I said, "Okay, here we go." And I pressed go on the drum machine. I had pre-programmed a bunch of beats.
Yeah.
I just had beats programmed. And the beat started playing. He was like, "Oh, that's hot. Oh, yeah, that sounds nice and fresh, young man. What the chords sound like? So I started playing chords with my right hand. I just made up something right.
Are you serious? It was spontaneously?
Yeah. Yeah, he said, "Oh, that's great. Let me hear the bass line." So I'm playing the chords with my right hand. The drum machine is going. I start playing the bass line, making it up on the spot right then and there.
And that was how Inside Love was conceived. Wow.
A little bit more story.
Okay.
He says, "Well, what's the lyric?" I said, "The lyrics, you want to hear the lyrics too?" I'm playing the drum machine, playing chords with my right hand, left hand playing the bass line, and just then the phone rang in the studio. And the phone ring was like they had a private line into the studio.
Right,
if you didn't know that number, nobody else could call them, just like you guys got.
Right.
And that private line rang, and I grabbed the whole of that idea of private line. I said, "Using our private lines, flat for a quiet night, find whispers and loving sighs, and making it personal." Da-da-da, 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 da-da-da.
And we're back on the Carrie's Corner Radio Show. Listener Appreciation Day. The house is packed. People are eating. Shout out to Trey, the BK chef, who brought all kinds of victuals. Salmon, chicken, pork. Do people still eat that? Yeah?
Yeah, I don't know what... We had cake before we ate the food.
That whole thing about... Listen, the way I was raised, you eat what you want. And my mother would definitely serve dessert whenever we wanted it. So, you know, the whole, you got to eat your dinner. No, just whatever. We're all adults here, right? Anyway, I want to welcome a very, very special guest. I actually honor this guy. He doesn't know this, but I really look up to him. Been wanting to get him on the show for a minute. It's very, 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 very much a proud moment for me to address him as Dr. Ronald F. Day. Welcome to the show, brother.
Good evening, brother.
Oh,
it's
God,
a pleasure
you
to
hear
be
that
here.
voice? Jeez, we don't even have to turn his mic up. What's up, brother? How are you?
I'm doing pretty well, thank you.
Good.
And congratulations on your 9th year.
Thank you. For coming from you, that means a lot. We have a very unique relationship. Dr. Day. Doctor. Damn. You and I met at a very interesting point in our lives. We were both in the Queensboro Correctional Facility, which is a pre-release facility of the New York State's Department of Correctional Services here in New York, a.k.a. prison. We were just getting out of jail. We were bunkmates.
We were in the boys' club.
Yeah, we was in the boys' club. And you know what? It's funny, man? And I mentioned this the last time that I really had a conversation with you. I remember, because it was so long ago, it seems. That was 2007. You didn't talk to nobody in that room. You did not deal with it. There was about 150 guys on the dorm. You did not talk to not one of them. You did not deal with them. You kept to yourself. The only person that you would converse with was me. And we would have the most intellectual conversations. And you have come such a long way, man, from a person that was released from prison. How long did you do? You did a stretch, right?
15 years.
15 years. Wow. And now you're Dr. Ronald F. Day. First of all, walk me through that. How did you, if you could give me a synopsis briefly, how did you go in 2007 from being paroled
without a college degree
to being a doctor? Tell me your story.
So when I went to prison, I had a GED.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to enroll in the college prison program.
Okay.
But they cut the funding for the program while I was there, about 2 years into my sentence. So it was very disappointing because you're involved in crime as I was, and there's an opportunity to go to college, and I'm thinking it'll be great to earn a college degree, but since they cut the funding for the program, I wasn't able to finish the program. I ended up with 51 college credits.
And how many did you need to complete the program?
Well, in order to earn a bachelor's degree, you need at least 120 credits.
Oh, so you
I left with less than half.
Less than half. Wow. Okay. And that could to a lot of people would have been discouraged and been like, the hell with it.
A lot of people would probably, but since I dropped out in the 9th grade, and I was completely uninterested in school.
Right.
But being in prison, it gave me an opportunity to reflect on my life and to think about what I wanted to do that would make a contribution. And going to college really helped turn things around for me.
Wow.
And so I was like, my mom had always encouraged me to go to school. She dropped out of high school herself, but then ended up earning a bachelor's degree herself in social work and became a social worker. And she would tell me at times, Kerry, she said, you have a good head on your shoulders. You should go to college. But it wasn't until I sat in prison in Sing Sing Correctional Facility that I said, I'm going to take advantages of this opportunity. Because some of the guys that were there also said, look, you got a good head on your shoulders. Maybe you should enroll in college.
Right. And so how did that transition into you getting a doctorate's degree? And what is your degree in, by the way?
It's a PhD in criminal justice with a focus on policy, oversight, and administration.
That's dope. And I went to school after prison and got an associate's degree in criminal justice.
Yes.
So I followed your lead. What have you done with I know what you've done, but tell the people what you've done since
First
then.
off, it took from the time that I came out in 2007, we came out at the same time. I enrolled in school around 2008.
Okay.
It took me 10 years to finish an undergraduate degree, 2 master's degree, and a PhD.
Wow.
So it took 7 years to finish the doctorate. So it's been about 3 years now since I've earned the degree. I mean, it has opened doors that would not have been open otherwise.
Right.
Because once you deprecate your community by engaging in criminal behavior, people oftentimes have a negative perception of you.
Absolutely.
But once you earn the highest degrees that are possible to earn, that kind of changes people's perspective.
Changes the
and
narrative.
it debunks a lot of myths and stereotypes about people that have been inside. So if
Exactly.
I don't tell people that I've been in prison, especially for a significant amount of time, they won't necessarily believe that.
Right.
In fact, I'm married now, and my wife still thinks that I'm joking when I tell her that I've been in prison for all these years. She said, I don't believe you.
Right.
And of course, she's just being facetious, but I'm not the person that I was before I went to prison. So I'm a
Exactly.
very different person, and I comport myself as someone who cares about my community, and I do the things that are like leadership, and providing leadership to people, acting as a mentor for individuals, and just trying to be a positive role model versus the lifestyle that I lived previously.
Now, not only did you get out and get a degree, you've also devoted your life, professionally at least, to helping others who have been behind the wall.
Absolutely.
The Fortune Society, which when I was in prison, was something that a lot of us aspired to. It was an organization a lot of us headed for New York City aspired to connect with, because the Fortune Society helps a lot of newly released individuals from the facilities. So how did you go from being a newly released inmate to becoming the vice president at the Fortune Society?
So it was a long and arduous journey. So first thing is that I believed in myself. I believed that I had the capacity to make a difference. And I just worked, and I'm very tenacious and I'm very ambitious. And so I wasn't allowing for some of the typical roadblocks to hinder me. So I don't drink, I don't use drugs, and I'm basically, to a certain extent, I'm like a square.
Yeah.
I don't do a lot of things that other individuals do.
But it
that
feels
can
good to
act
be a
as
square,
vice.
right?
Yeah, for me it feels good.
Exactly.
I mean, it
Same
wasn't
here.
feeling good when I was sitting in prison for those 15 years.
Exactly.
But now it feels good to be in a position where, I'm actually making a difference. So the way that I got there is that I said to myself while I was inside that I'm not going to let my incarceration define me.
Exactly.
And my mother always said to me that you can do something different. You can be the type of positive influence that you want to be. And I wanted to make my mother proud.
Right.
Having been inside for all those years, I wanted to show her that I can come out and be the man that she believed that I could be. So I just worked hard, Curry. I went to school. I worked full time, and I just stayed committed. I stayed with my eyes on the prize. So I wanted to earn a bachelor's degree, of course, and then the opportunity presented itself for me to earn a master's. So I earned a master's in public administration with honors. And then while I was in that program, an opportunity opened up for me to get into a doctorate program. I didn't imagine when I was sitting in those prisons that I would actually come out here and be able to earn a doctorate degree. That is not even something that I really gave consideration to. So when the opportunity presented itself, I actually applied and I got accepted into 2 PhD programs. And I ultimately accepted the CUNY Graduate Center's program, PhD in Criminal Justice. That's housed at the John Jay College of Criminal Justice. And it was an awesome opportunity.
So proud of you, bro. I want to ask you a quick question before I let everybody know how they can contact you.
Sure.
Because this is something, I mean, I've been watching you. I watch. You're like a big brother to me, and I pay attention. You were interviewed by Henry Louis Gates Jr., one of my idols. What the hell was that like? I mean, again, you were once incarcerated, and now you're being interviewed by one of the premier historians of our time. What was that like for you, boss?
I mean, it was an honor. I mean, he's a champion. He's, someone who has been doing this work for eons. So, I mean, he was working on a documentary, and called Black America's Still I Rise.
Right.
And so he wanted to tell a story of people who've been impacted by the criminal justice system, and so he decided to interview me.
Okay.
And so I'm featured in that particular documentary that's on PBS.
Right.
Episodes 3 and 4, and he actually came, interviewed me at the Fortune Society where I work. Fortune has been around for 55 years, providing services to people that are directly impacted. So I mean, it was just an honor to do that. So,
man,
I mean, he's an amazing individual.
Right.
And then he came, we honored him at one of our banquets, and so he said, I mean, you know, I admire him. Obviously, I look up to him. And the fact that he was interested in my story was something that it was just awesome for me.
I can imagine, man.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I was just like, that's my dude right there.
Yeah.
So very quickly, for those that are interested in getting in touch with you or getting in touch with the Fortune Society, how can they reach you, boss?
So they can reach me. My email address is rday@fortunesociety.org, or they can go on a website, fortunesociety.org, right? Learn about the services that we offer. They can always connect with me, send me an email. My phone number is 347-510-3675. That's my direct line. People can reach me there. And I'm more than happy if they have someone, a family member or a friend that's been impacted by the criminal justice system, and this person, you know, might be feeling hopeless, might be feeling like I'm never going to be able to turn my life around. You know, we talk to people, we provide them with guidance, we provide them with the support, and we sometimes, as we say, we believe in people before they believe in themselves.
That's true.
And we also, you know, we say the crime is what you did, is not who you are.
It's not who you are. That's right. I can't wait to interview you for Intrigue Magazine because I got a lot more questions to ask you than we have time to expel on this show. But I am proud of you. I want to thank you for being on the show. I want to thank you for being a role model for me and for other people. I want to thank you for allowing me to get to know you before you became this big success story that you've become, man. I love you to death, and I'm proud of you, man.
Love you too, my brother. And again, congratulations on the show. You're touching people, not just in New York City, but all over the country. And it's important for, again, someone who was in those places to be in the position that you're in now, because a lot of people are aspiring to do the type of work that you do.
Right.
So congratulations.
Thank you, boss. That means a lot coming from you. We're going to get into this last and final collection of interviews here on the Kerry's Corner Radio Show. Your home for new jacks and throwbacks and all that other stuff. Here on the Kerry's Corner Radio Show, man, we've been honored and privileged to interview some of the true legends of R&B music. Check out these interviews with Melba Moore, Eddie Levert Sr. of the OJs, High Five, of course, T.C. Carson, who played Kyle Barker on the hit sitcom Living Single, and none other than my girl, Melissa Morgan, right here on Kerry's Corner, your new home for throwbacks and new jacks.
Music is
Tonight it feels great.
Yeah, it's timeless.
It's great to look back and realize I've had a wonderful life, lots of good music, good people in my life, and it's still going on. It's good.
Yes. It's an honor to have you on the show, ladies and gentlemen. I have to give a warm Kerry's Corner welcome to the iconic and legendary Miss Melba Moore. Welcome
Thank
to the
you
show.
very much. I'm very happy to be here.
Thank you so much. And I was telling everybody, you're putting your makeup on and you're sitting there trying to...
I was just taking the shine off.
Sister, you
I
can't...
had too much glow.
You cannot improve
I wasn't trying
upon
to fix
perfection. Beautiful.
I know you can't fix it, but
you are still beautiful after
you.
So we're going to talk a little later, but I just want to congratulate you on the topic of the night, or one of the topics of the night, which is Forevermore.
Oh, yes, new CD.
I want to congratulate you on that. We're going to get into that a little later, and of course, we're going to play some music from your new CD. And DJ Just in Time, who's the guy who makes all the mixes here, he told me to say to you, and I quote, his favorite song is, it's an oldie, but classic. I'm His Lady.
Oh, wonderful.
Is his favorite Melba Moore song.
Oh,
so I'm going to ask you a question. I ask a lot of my guests this question. What is your favorite Melba Moore song? If you had to pick one.
Well, I'm not like really a nostalgic person. I'm really happy that other people are. But I like It's My Time Again, which is new.
That's what I'm talking about. So you like the new stuff that reflects your todayness.
Well,
right?
that's what I'm focused on. You know, I put a lot of time and energy in it. We perform it all the time, and I perform the old ones too. Thank God, everybody wants them.
Everybody, yes. And I'll just throw this in because I'm in front of you. You Stepped Into My Life is my favorite.
Oh, well,
Melba Moore song.
I love it. Don't get me wrong. Then.
Yes, of course, but you have so much to
I mean,
choose from.
I'm saying that because sometimes artists get tired of doing the songs or they don't want to hear it anymore.
Right.
No, I don't mean that at all. I'm very happy about the new stuff, but I love the old things.
You just like the fresh stuff too.
Yeah, I mean, you get something new to do, and you know, get your mind refreshed in your body and your soul, and you know, and I test it on people, you know, because they're not usually too attentive unless they've heard it a zillion times on the radio.
That's true.
So I kind of set them up for it. I said, I'm going to experiment on you. Is it okay? Unfortunately, they love the song. So.
And I know they must because I listened to the CD, you know, thank you. I got my hard copy here.
Yes.
But your wonderful manager, Ron, you know, he gave me a couple of snippets. And I got to listen to the CD, you know, over the past month, and I'm like, wow, it's just your
It's
voice,
good, right?
Your voice is timeless, and your music, 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 and your music. Man, oh man, Eddie Levert Sr., are you with me, brother?
Yes, yeah, man.
Man,
you know,
listen, you got the
I
whole
don't-
studio.
I don't usually listen to myself,
Mhm.
and it's been such a long time since I listened to those records,
Mm-hmm.
and it just brought back a lot of memories, man.
Oh, man, we was
a lot of memories of promotional tours
Mm-hmm.
and going around singing with the Commodores and singing with we're on tour with Gladys Knight now, and so
Right.
we do those songs every night. So it's just it's so heartwarming to have done some work that has lasted as long as that has, and that they're still around and people still like that music. That's what's so touching about it.
Can I tell you something, sir? You had the whole studio. Nobody was sitting down.
We was in here jamming.
We was in here jamming, dancing, singing your songs. Everybody's wow. That song brings me back. I mean, you're legendary, brother, and we're just grateful to have such an iconic person, with us here in the industry. Let's talk about I'm going to run down your accolades really quickly because I have to, because you deserve this. So, I mean, you starred in the movie The Fighting Temptations in 2009.
Yeah.
Of course, the BET Lifetime Achievement Award, long overdue. The I Got Your Back book that you made with your son Gerald back in 2007.
Yes.
That had to have been a beautiful moment, just the whole father-son thing. Of course, in
that was, I tell people all the time that was probably one of the highlights of my career, performing with him and doing the Baby Hold On to Me and all the stuff that we did together. You know what I'm saying? And the performance that we did, being on stage with him was like butter, man.
Right.
You know, it's like we just gelled together. We just knew what each other was going to do without even talking about it. And with the OJs, it's a thing that everything is premeditated.
Correct.
So you have to rehearse it.
Right.
Where with him, that we didn't do it. We just winged it, and it was.
Nobody ever likes that. I've had Jackie McGee on the show. I've had Eddie Levert on the show. Nobody ever wants to answer this question because it's politically incorrect to answer it honestly. And if you don't want to answer it honestly, fine. But I figure as long as you've been in the game, you should be able to say what you want to say. What do you think about today's artists? In particular, the ones that sing.
Wow.
Right. Spotlight is the camera. You right on him.
No
the
doubt,
man
no
with
doubt.
the beat hat.
I mean, respect to the artists who still got a craft. You know, they doing it.
Can they sing?
Well, it's just you got to think about what the fans want. The fans don't know what real singing is, and I mean, no disrespect to the fans, but if you don't hear real singing often, you probably will listen to something that's not real singing.
Can they sing?
You got some with talent, but
name 3.
Wow.
It's going down.
Miguel, you got Miguel. You
Okay.
got
Trey Songz.
You got him. You got him.
Don't help. Don't. This is. Don't.
Well,
I don't
high
want.
five, that's
John
what-
Legend.
high five,
I don't want
John
help.
Legend. We boys.
John Legend is not a today's artist. Stop that.
Right, because see, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna be like,
What
I
is
listen to
today's
Beyonce?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, she getting played.
She's
today,
not really
obviously.
today either. She's been
Right,
out for
right.
1,000 years.
Well,
At least
So
it
what's
seems.
considered today's artist
Yeah,
R&B?
because
Somebody
we
that
talking
came
about?
out within the last 3 years.
But that's not
Somebody
R&B.
or a group?
Your mic.
That's not R&B though.
Somebody that came out.
See,
That's
exactly,
not R&B.
exactly.
Man, that's
so,
a
now,
hard
so,
one.
now, so now I'm gonna let the shade come out of my mouth because I don't care.
I kind of like Bryson, man.
Okay, but there's
When
no
the
more
stuff is stripped away,
There's
you can
no
still
more
sing.
troops.
No, you're
There's
right.
no more high fives. There's no more soul for reals. Remember back in the day, because I used to like to buy albums, Mr. Cox, right?
Right.
And the
Yeah.
first thing I wanted to do, I wanted to hear the a cappella version.
Right.
Because the a cappella version lets you know what time it really is.
Right.
Could you imagine? I'm saying that you're not. If Rihanna had an a cappella version to Umbrella,
No.
see, y'all don't want. He's like, we're not going to
I mean,
respond to
but-
that. We're
but
going to
that's
let
what
him
we
throw the
saying.
shade.
That's what we're saying. Like,
Right.
I think the fans today don't even want to hear. Like they have no
Yeah,
no
they-
desire to hear what real singing is.
Right.
You know, it's
Right.
trap music, club
Beats.
music, dance.
it's a
You
dance.
know,
It's about the beats. and About stuff that like beat, that. man. They
Yeah.
want to hear the beat.
Yeah.
They wanna
Yeah.
twerk. They wanna twerk.
Here's where it really stands. As long as there's a hot beat,
Right.
it doesn't matter what kind of vocals on it.
Yeah.
You could say do I diddy diddy dum diddy do.
I got
Right.
this trap record. I got this trap song I
and,
did.
yeah,
yo.
and auto tune it.
And,
that's a wrap.
we got 1 minute. So let me just add this though. Like okay, so when I mentioned the whole thing about the song, she said,
Yeah.
for real. I mean, of course, the vocals. You all never made a song that wasn't vocally incomparable. We get that. But the lyrics to the damn
that's what it's
song
about now.
moved
Yeah.
me.
Story. Yeah.
And these people have no concept,
Yeah.
like you said,
Of what a
brother,
story.
of lyrics. So I
Right.
thank you for coming back on the scene and bringing us real R&B. We're going to listen to 10 minutes of your latest cuts, including
good.
Kit Kat, which we're not going to shout out the company because I don't think they're like sponsoring you.
Nah.
Well, for me, I think I'm best seen live. It's one thing to listen to a recording, but I think when you come out to the club or come out to the venue and see me on stage, it's a whole different type of experience for you. And I think I'm best on stage. And so we wanted to have something that was indicative of that and kind of showed me in that light. And so we decided to do the live CD at this really nice place called Home in Beverly Hills.
Okay. And what was that like actually recording your record live? Like, I guess there wasn't room for a lot of mistakes, so did you do like outtakes and stuff like that?
Well, we did 2 shows, and we kind of took the best of each show.
Okay.
I really didn't pay attention to the recording aspect of it. It was all about the performance.
Right.
And I was just trying to have good performances, you know?
Well, actually, I do know because every Tuesday is TC Tuesdays. And so what's happening is for my listeners, TC's debuting a new video every Tuesday. I'm correct, right?
That's right. And they're all from that live recording session.
Right. And so I saw, thus far I've saw Warm as the Rain, and I saw Ordinary People, which is, of course, is a remake of John Legend's hit single. And I'm just like, actually, I want to say that I'm floored, brother, because your performance is very soulful. I dig it. I like the fact that you give your fans an opportunity to not just hear you live, but watch you live, and that you're dropping something every Tuesday. Whose idea was that? Like, how did that concept come about?
Well, I have a great management team, Mr. Harding, and that was one of his ideas. And I think it's a really good idea to get people to just kind of see what I do. And there's interview portions in each video as well, which gives people more of a clue as to why I do my music and what my music is about.
Right, and that's exclusively on YouTube or no?
YouTube and on and my YouTube channel, TC Carson.
Okay, so yeah, just let everybody know. That TC Carson has his own YouTube page, and so you can subscribe to that so that you can check out his new releases. What's tomorrow's single? Do you have one for tomorrow coming out?
But I'm going to let you be surprised about it.
Right, of course. Yes,
I think it's cool. I think it's a real cool one, though.
Okay, that's what's up. I definitely will be checking for you. And I'm sorry.
And that's the great thing about doing the CD. We did partial things from my previous CD, which was called Truth, but we did a more unplugged version of some of those tunes and kind of updated them. And then we went back and took some standard tunes and tried to present them in a different way, like we did the John Legend tune.
Correct. And why did you decide you wanted to do a cover of John's single, Ordinary People? And I thought really long and hard about this, and I had to ask because something told me that if anybody can answer this question, it would be Melissa Morgan. And look at the two of them cringing over there, like they think I'm going to say something weird. DJ Justin Time and Shabu. How does Melissa Morgan define the word diva?
I'm going to define it like my girlfriend, who I miss very, very much. I love her and miss her. Like Whitney Houston defined it. To be a diva, you would have at one time, been the best of the best.
Yes.
And some people sustain it longer than others, and some don't. But at one time, in whatever you do, you would have to have been the best of the best. And that's what a definition of a diva is to me. You have had to have been the best of the best at one time.
I've always felt like the essence of the word is that you define elegance.
No.
No?
No.
So you don't have to be an elegant?
You can be an elegant diva, but that's not the definition of a diva. Yeah.
So you don't have to
all
be
divas aren't elegant. All divas are not elegant, and I said it. And come on with it if you want to. Come on with it if you want to, because all divas are not elegant. No.
That's true, Diamonds.
Yeah.
Anyway, I gotta send a shout out to. Well, I'm not a big fan of Rihanna. Okay, that's Diamonds. I just said it. Okay, it doesn't mean that she's not a great artist of sorts, but whatever. Anyway, I want to send a shout out to TMO Entertainment, Tamanika O'Diddy for making this happen, for connecting connecting you and I.
Yes.
She's definitely an awesome individual. Her email address is tmoentertainment at. Ooh, she's gonna kill me. Is it AOL?
I don't know. But anyway, I did something. See, that's a diva move. That's a diva move. I'm sorry. See, that's a diva move. I'm sorry.
I can't forget her. She's gonna kill me because I know she's listening. Yeah. No, but
that's a definite diva move. No, thank you, Tamanika. That's not what. You know what? I want to thank Tamanika because there is an album out, an independent album out with me and Avery Sharp, the jazz musician, where we did a tribute to the young lady Rose. What was her name, babe? Of the jazz album that I did with Avery Sharp, the bass player. Oh goodness, forgive me. Look it up, Google it. I'm sorry, I'm just drawing a blank. It'll come to me in a minute.
It's those candies that you.
Yeah, I know. I got a sugar rush. Yeah. But I did a tribute album, and that's out now on his independent label, and it's called Tamanika. So I thank her for that.
Yeah, she's.
Oh, yeah, right now I want to say once again, thank you all for listening to us here for 9 years on the Kerry's Corner Radio Show, your only place for throwbacks and new jacks. My turn now.
Hey, this is Kerry D. Singleton from the Kerry's Corner Radio Show, and you are in the mix with our DJ, Andre Jones.
Money, 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 money.
Come on now. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. All of the money people will steal from their mothers. All of the money people will rob their own brothers. All of the money people can't even walk the streets because they'll never know in the world they're gonna be. For that almighty
Yeah, you're looking sweeter now. You better every day, girl. Wish that I could love you in a special way. You light my fire. I feel alive with you, baby. You blow my mind. I'm satisfied. So much better. Charging by the hour for your love. I'm trying to show how much I love you. Still believing in romance. You're taking way too many chances with my love. I remember when you used to be the talk of the town. You get as lonely. Turn your love around. Don't you turn me down. I can show you how. Turn your love around. Why you wanna do this to me, boy?
Can you remember the times we spent together, sharing the days in the sun? But then I found out that you were somebody else's lover. After all our plans were made, now they're shattered. But still I can't get off my high horse. I can't let go. You are the one who makes me feel so real. Ooh, what am I supposed to do when I'm so on you? And then I realize it's just somebody else's love.
You made me happy. This you can bet. You stood right beside me, yeah, and I won't forget. And I really love you. You should know. I wanna make sure I'm right, girl, before I let go. We've had our good time. That's not to say we've hurt each other. Girl, it's a shame. I won't be foolish, no. I wanna love. I wanna make sure I'm right, girl, before I let go. Yeah. You know I think the sun rises and shines on you. You know there's nothing, nothing, nothing I would not do. Oh no, before I let you go.
Andre Jones. Suckers.
Yeah.
this is how the story goes. She knows she's got everything that a woman needs to get a man. Yeah, yeah. How can she lose with the suit she used? 36, 24, 36. What a winning hand, 'cause she's a big house. She's mighty, mighty, just letting it all hang out. And she's a brick house. I don't like ladies that's a fact. Ain't holding nothing back. Oh, she's a brick house. Yeah, she's the one, the only one, built like a Amazon.
It's like candy.
I can feel it when you walk, even when you talk. It takes over me.
You're so dandy.
I wanna know, can you feel it too? Just like I do.
This stuff is starting now. It's the same feeling I always seem to get over you. There's no mistaking, I'm clearly taken by the simple mere thought of you. This stuff is starting now. This stuff is starting now. This stuff is starting now. My eyes roll in my head. I toss and turn in my bed. In the morning when I think about you.
Yes, I do.
Simply put, you're the reason why. Even though I'm real shy, I attempt to look my best for you.
Indeed, I do.
Just for you.
'Cause you affect me, fascinate me.
I thank heaven for the things that feels like candy.
Humping your back, so. You got me Where's all the hungry people at? Where they at? Say it loud. You got me Many more. Take your humble by soul. We all the hump, give up. We love to humble We all the hump, give up. We love to humble
Last night a DJ saved my life. Last night a DJ saved my life, yeah. 'Cause I was sitting there bored to death, and in just one breath he said, you gotta get up, you gotta get off, you gotta get down, girl. You know you drive me crazy, baby. You've got me turning to another man. Called you on the phone, no one's home. Baby, why leave me all alone? And if it wasn't for the music, I don't know what I'd do. Yeah. Last night a DJ saved my life. Last night a DJ saved my life from a broken heart. Last night a DJ saved my life. Last night a DJ saved my life from a broken heart. Last night a DJ saved my life. Last night a DJ saved my life with a song. Hey, listen up to your local DJ. You better hear what he's got to say.
It's not a problem that I can't fix, 'cause I can do it in the mix. And if your man gives you trouble just to move out on a double, and you don't let it trouble your brain, 'cause away goes trouble down the drain. Said away goes trouble down the drain.
Well, all right.
I don't want nobody else to ever love me. You are my shining star, my guiding light, my love fantasy. There's not a minute, hour, day or night that I don't love you. You're at the top of my list 'cause I'm always thinking of you. I still remember in the days when I was scared to touch you, how I spent my day dreaming, planning how to say I love you. You must have known that I had feelings deep enough to swim in. That's when you opened up your heart and you told me to come in.